beautiful day here in Gold Canyon, Arizona. Looking at a really neat 1940 Ford Standard Business Coupe. Great looking little car. Resto or retro rods kind of feel and style to it. Still has a Flathead V8, a hopped up one underneath the hood, 3 on the tree. Factory rear differential with some upgraded axles. Just a neat little car. We'll walk around and we're gonna give you a feel about it. Neat little car. It's finished in a Yosemite green. Really nice and shiny, straight little body. Painted probably about, I'm saying at least 10 years ago. So you're gonna find a little patina or age or flaws, that kind of thing. It's not perfect, but it's a great looking paint job on this car. Good looking car. Kind of car you can drive around and still retain the character that really is, in fact, I would say the paint's better than it would have been from the factory, that's for darn sure. Same kind of character, drive and feel. Yosemite green, you'll see a lot of cars out there that are a cloud mist gray. Yosemite green's just a little bit darker. It is a factory color. So this body's not been modified. It's all Henry steel car. This gentleman purchased it out of Oklahoma, where they had done a lot of the upgrades and stuff to the powertrain and the engine to make sure that it was right. It has a 286 cubic inch Flathead V8 underneath the hood. We'll share some of that with you. 3 on the tree transmission, 3-speed transmission that's been completely gone through. The rear end's been gone through. The front suspension has a stabilizer bar in it. Just the kind of stuff that you'd expect. Updated radiator. Nice little driving lights on the front, and they actually are hooked up and work. It has been converted to 12 volts. The bright work on this car is really nice. The bumpers, nice feel. You gotta love standards for the style. The headlights are actually body color, and they don't have the bright grille, and it's just a nicely understated presence of a 40 Ford. A lot of guys are looking for 40s in standard. This would be the perfect candidate for a powertrain upgrade if somebody had wanted to, but I'd sure hate to see it because it's just such a neat little flathead. Wait till we get underneath the hood. Beautiful car, 15s and 15s. I believe those are 165s or 185 15s in the front. We'll cover that on the undercarriage, 235s in the rear. Still retains its factory cowl vent in the front here. Still has its wind wings, original wind wings. In fact, he brought it out of Oklahoma. This gentleman at the Hot Rod Garage, there's a lot of receipts from Hot Rod Garage, had owned it prior to doing work on it for a gentleman he sold it to. So it dates back to Oklahoma, and before that we'll kind of dig up what we know and do that at Spud's Garage. But the body is beautiful. I spent a lot of time looking at the body on it. I rolled down, looked underneath the fenders, so on and so forth. We know what we're looking at when it comes to 40 Fords, and this is just a nice little body. Great presentation, good character. Briarwood brown dash on it, so it's a factory style dash. Much like it would have been in the day. There's no radio, no fluffy stuff. Has a under dash heater in it. You gotta love the dash. The upholstery's done in a Naga hide or ultra style leather, a leather appearing vinyl. Rubber mat on the floor, much like a standard would have been. Just a nice, subtle, good period style interior in it. Something that's going to wear nice and always look nice. Good standard business coupe. Has a package shelf in the back here. Nice little ISKI cams. Looks like they redid all the weather strips and everything in this car when it was done. And the weather strips are dry and nice. It's a factory seat, so this seat flips up here. I'll get it here with my camera. See underneath there, there's a gel battery. It's been converted to 12 volts. It has seat belts that are behind the seat here that can come out. A lot of guys do that. They put them in and they don't ever use them because they don't want them hanging on the seat like that. Nice briarwood finish on the garnish moldings. Watch this door shut. I mean, it's very nice fit on this car. Good honest body. I've been underneath it. Peeked up inside. We'll actually have trunk the tool well. The video, I open up the tool well so you can kind of get a feel there. Again, Yosemite green. You could pick it for little minor flaws in here, but you know what? You'd be being silly if you did. Car just has good character all the way around. Vintage style feel to it. They weren't perfect back then. And the paint on this is way better than it would have been from the factory, I can tell you that. There's a lot of paint on it. It appears to be a single stage. Has a nice gloss to it. The finish is, the body panels are straight. You can kind of get a feel right there. And a little warm out here. I need to get a bottle of water. Ventique style wheels. Nice, very nice running boards. They could be reproductions, I can't tell. But the rubber's very nice on them. No handles sag like you typically see. These handles are original, which these are not reproductions, so that kind of give you a feel of how this car may have been prior to its restoration. We here tell that the body was very nice prior to restoration. So a little hopped up flatty, dual Stromberg 97s, 3 on the tree transmission, nicely done period style hot rod interior. Retains a lot of its factory look and feel. As I get in here, we'll share with you the dash again. So it has a radio delete in it. Factory glove box, factory controls here, has a heater, 3 on the tree, 3-speed manual transmission. Has 586 miles on the odometer since the powertrain went through about in 2011. Has nice turn signal, upgraded turn signals here, and it does have driving lights like I mentioned. This here, I believe, is an original 40 steering wheel, which a lot of these you'll see Giuliano's or replacement steering wheels, because it has some character here, a little character here. So it's been refinished. It's a factory one. Door jambs, we'll share the door jambs with you there. Shut the door here. See, it shuts nice. You don't have to slam it or do anything crazy. Golf carts going by. Anyway, this is about the time we tell you to get in, but definitely hang on to the end of the video, because just in a few seconds here, we're going to take you to the engine compartment. We'll actually have it running, turning around for you to see it. Go to spudsgarage.com. Give Brian a call. I'm never any pressure. We try and cover these as good as we can. I give you a good feel of the car. Anyway, let's take a look underneath the hood here. Very nicely done retro rod style Flathead V8. There's nothing like a Flathead V8. This one's hopped up, really nicely done. It's a Vern Tardell built Flathead V8. The motor only has probably about 500-600 miles on it at the time of inspection here. It's been updated with the typical upgrades: a 4-inch Mercury crank with a 3 3/8 overbore, which equals 286 cubic inches. Nice little options and upgrades on it to give it that feel. It has Reds headers on it. It has an Edelbrock aluminum heads right and left. They're polished intake manifold, dual Stromberg 97. Gobs of torque on this little girl. Chrome water pumps. Has a Matson brass radiator, so it runs nice and cool. Has an electric cooling fan on it instead of that hokey dokey one that typically would have been driven off the belts here. Has a PowerMaster 12-volt alternator on it, which is built to look like a generator, so it mounts in the factory spot. Firewall is finished in the body color Yosemite green. Just cute. Runs good. A lot of little horsepower. The VIN down here on the frame is where it's supposed to be. We've confirmed it against the title. Cloth wrapped wiring. Still has a voltage regulator right there. I don't know if it's active or not, but it's still wired there. Reds headers. Again, electric cooling fan right there. Anyway, just cute underneath the hood. A factory style transmission, manual transmission, and factory rear differential with upgrades. So it's got a 354 ratio rear end, and it has the Ford 9-inch axle conversion, which keeps the axles from falling out, which they did sometime back in the day when the cotter pins would back off and the nuts would come off. But anyway, there you have it. Hang on to the end of the video. Definitely go to spudsgarage.com, where we'll have plenty more. All right, while we had in the garage here, we thought we'd do the trunk and the shade for you, just share the trunk with you. Overall, a very solid little car, pretty much your standard trunk. It has the spare now, a couple of wheel chocks there and a wheel lug. Looks like they've done jute insulation all the way throughout here. I've been underneath the car and looked at it. It's a solid car. We'll show you here in the tool well. Also has jute padding here, but you'll see that it was finished at one time all the way through. We'll try and lift this up here for you. But it's always a good sign when you see the tool well is really solid in these cars, and this is an area you should look at. This is actually a tool well from the factory. I'm not going to try and get that out while my hand's here, but I've looked in there. Anyway, wanted to share the trunk with you. Go to spudsgarage.com. Hang on to the end of the video. As always, let's take a look at the undercarriage here. We always like to share the undercarriage, and you're at the end of the video. We spent a lot of time. I've crawled around underneath this car, looked at the floor pans really good. This is a rock solid little car. Has a factory rear differential with a 354 gear ratio, so it's plenty drivable. Has the covering on the springs like it's factory. Also still has the knee action shocks on the rear. The rear axles have been upgraded to the Ford 9-inch style, so they eliminate the axle nut, and they've converted all the brakes to Lincoln Zephyr Juice brakes. So nice little deal, factory style fuel tank here. The entire powertrain on the car has been completely rebuilt about 500, 600 miles ago. You'll see the factory rear differential with the bones underneath there. Backside tires are 235 75 R15s. Take a good look here. I'm trying to get you a good look at the floor pans. Take a look there. Just a nice solid little driver car. Again, I laid around underneath it, looked up inside the fenders. It's a nice solid car, really honest little body. There's the bones there. Factory transmission, factory chassis. Front suspension's all been gone through too. See the waterfall here on the grill. Standard. It's been updated with a stabilizer bar in the front and gas shocks. Looks like they just reversed the white walls on it. Cover the front here for you. So Lincoln Juice brakes, factory, I'm sure that's a dropped axle on it. Nice Vintique style wheels or factory style wheels. These tire size on this one are 165 R15s, so they've been on there a little while. Reds headers with dual exhaust. We already covered the engine compartment here for you. Kind of show you the undercarriage here. Very nicely done. You're at the end of the video. This is just a good solid 40 Ford Standard. You don't see a lot of these cars in the standard version. And it's nice to see one that's relatively stock or a retro rods kind of style to it. Anyway, have a great day. Go to spudsgarage.com. Don't forget, give Brian a call. Never. A little bit of a prep issue here on the roof here, but the paint's shiny. It's nice. The paint on the car is very nice. You wouldn't even see it in the light here in the garage. I was able to catch it.